Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Devin Nunes, launching phase 2 of his investigation into that anti-Trump dossier, firing off a list of questions to former and current State Department and Justice Department officials, including former FBI Director James Comey. Phase 2 of Nunes' probe focuses on when these officials learned that the dossier was funded by Democratic sources and how that dossier was first obtained, how it obtained that FISA warrant on former Trump advisor Carter Page. With me now to discuss, Ashley Pratte, U.S. News and World Report contributor, and back with us as well, Tammy Bruce. Ashley, it's pretty clear the focus is starting to shift toward the origin and who knew what when, particularly within the Obama administration on this.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what Nunes is definitely trying to get to the bottom of. You know, if the Democratic National Committee was behind this, as it's been said that they have been, you know, it's important to know when this information was known. And I think that, you know, at this point, we're hopefully going to get to the bottom of it. I think the American people deserve that answer. You know, I think at this point as well, addressing these questions in an appropriate way, in a transparent way, is important to this whole process of figuring out what exactly happened here.
Tammy, question number 9. Was President Obama briefed on any information contained in a dossier prior to January 5th, 2017? I think a few people are going to be a little nervous when they answer that one.
Yeah, and look, this is important also because James Comey testified to Congress that he'd only spoken to Obama twice in his whole time at the FBI, once in 2015 and once in 2016, I believe. So this January 5th meeting we know already he didn't tell Congress about. But I think that the combination of what this represents, which is a kind of lawlessness, a kind of corruption, where the government was operating as a cudgel for a political party, weaponizing the law enforcement. This goes to how far people are willing to go, and if, in fact, the president himself was involved. And I think that matters because the president has positioned himself as being above all of that, and certainly the presidency should be. But we now know, of course, that, and this part of my column tomorrow will address this, and I think President Trump did in some tweets this morning, is what President Obama knew when he was telling Donald Trump to shut up, to stop whining about possible interference with the election in October before the election. So the American people need to know if their government has been used against them.
Ladies, also, of course, with the Russian probe, if you will, after those 13 indictments of folks who probably will never be actually arrested or face any sort of adjudication here in America. You know, the media is still pounding on the Trump administration, Ashley, particularly Donald Trump, saying he hasn't been vigorous enough in calling out this whole thing. In fact, I think it was in the New York Times, just a horrible article on Donald Trump that suggesting that he was in the pocket of Russia. I mean, it really makes some serious, ugly assumptions about him that I think are unfair. And we saw at a press conference today with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the same sort of thing. Do you think the White House needs to come out more vigorously and vocally voice opposition against Russia right now?
Well, I think what we do know is that they definitely did interfere in this election, and that, first and foremost, has been shown by these indictments. But with all of that said, I do think the White House does have a role to play in this because of the fact that the president had come out there multiple times and said this was a hoax, this was a witch hunt, which I believe the indictments did show that it was not. The interference did happen. Whether or not there was collusion, that has yet to be proved. So, yes, I think the media should stop jumping to some conclusions there. However, the White House does have a chance to control the narrative here if they choose.
Right.
And if they choose to come out in front of it rather than have the president, you know, tweet something again that might be
quick, before you jump in, I just want to share the one line from Thomas Friedman. He said it was his most read article ever. That is, either Trump real estate empire has taken large amounts of money from shady oligarchs linked to the Kremlin, so much that they literally own him. I mean, that is a fantastic assumption by someone who is held up in such high esteem as a great thinker. It's embarrassing.
Isn't this the guy that predicted the stock market crash once Trump won?
Yeah, well,
the same guy. Look, President Trump's already in front of this narrative. I vaguely recall that we just recently killed several hundred Russians in Syria with some strikes. We've, of course, pushed them to a strong degree in Syria. We're supporting Ukraine to a degree that Obama would not go near. There's no whispering in anybody's ear saying, I'm going to have some more flexibility. Right. The president has done multiple things that have harmed Russia significantly, that have indicated, of course, where he stands on this issue. So look at how he's governing, not what he might say to a reporter.
Of course, also blunting their expansionary tendencies, particularly in Eastern Europe.
Exactly.
Ladies, thank you both very much.